So a few years ago my family and I decided to attempt to do the 630 odd miles of the southwest coast path, not all in one go, although that would be an adventure no doubt. We thought we would break it into chunks and do sections, a little circular, so each section we'd cover like a circle and then another circle, like concentric circles, so that we could park our car, and then that's the coast path sign. We could park our car and then return to it, cover a few miles of the coast path, and then see more of the sort of hinterland, the inside bit, on the way back. And it is great that way. You do see a lot more of this beautiful area of the country. Right now we're in Devon, but it takes a long time. But you know, if you're not in any rush, hopefully you've got plenty of time ahead of you, and you know, you can finish it in due course. So we started in Minehead in Somerset, which is where it starts, and there's a statue there to signify the beginning of the coast path, and then it runs from Somerset into North Devon, right down into Cornwall, and then back along the south coast, finishing in Poole, which I believe is in Dorset. Not got anywhere near there yet, so I don't know much about that area, but there was one section which we actually did a little walk on many years ago when the kids were little, and it was particularly hairy, and my wife christened it the Walk of Death. Well, there's a nice picnic spot. First of many, I imagine. The Walk of Death. So we kind of skipped that section. So at the moment I think we've reached we're just on the fringes of North Cornwall. So we've gone way past that Walk of Death area. Right now, Gumbo and I are deciding to tackle that missing section. So we have parked the car at Countisbury Hill car park, which we believe is free and that you can park overnight without bother. And we have got a tent on our back, which is a new experience for me. It's a little heavy, but we'll see how we go. It's on a flat bit now, so it's okay, but I'm finding it a little tricky going downhill. It feels like you've got this person on your back, which makes you a little harder to balance. And Lynmouth referred to as like Little Switzerland, something along those lines. So this path winds its way down through the woods for a little while until eventually we should come out at Lynmouth Harbour. have conquered all that. This looks much more impressive from down here. Vernacular or vernacular? Fur. Venus and furs. Walker, the hub of Exmoor's long distance walking trails, unveiled on 1870 by John Craven, Sea Country Farm. So we came off the funicular. It is funicular. So it was fun, but Latin, I assume, but we don't know quite for what. Something in a line, maybe something on a rope, even though this was water powered, this particular one. But I had some banking troubles earlier in the week, and hacked anyway, so all my cards had to be cancelled. So I'm here this week almost experimenting to see if you can still pay for things by cash. And wouldn't you have thought that a Victorian funicular would be, you know, appropriate thing to still be asking for cash? And no, contactless payment only, even on a Victorian funicular. So we shall see what the rest of the trail brings, because I've only got cash. Anyway, it's looking good up here though. Gumbo's on the lead because it's straight down drop. And there's a few people on the path. Valley of the Rocks promises to be quite something, looking at these rock formations. Apart from the sea, it's almost like something from a western. We should make some British westerns here, fish and chip western. Steak and ale pie western. Oh, there's some goats down there. Mountain goats. Well, managed to set the tent up. It was a bit of an ordeal. Not really, but you know, just a bit of a drag, to be honest. So I'm not quite sure this camping lark is for me, but managed to get some water boiling. So maybe we'll have like a cup of soup or something in a minute. And then for mains, I've got some smoky Spanish style grains and rice. So hopefully there's some protein in that. Gumbo, as usual, is not eating her food. She doesn't know what's going on. She's like, when are we going home? How did you manage to get off the guide rope? I thought I tied you to the guide rope. Literally didn't bring the tent down. So yeah, backpacking was tough. Not really sure I'll be doing this too many more times, but we'll see. First time, so you never know. So it's a fine day. Spent the night in a place called Caffin's Heaton Farm, which is also a cider factory, distillery. Oh gosh, turkeys too. Yeah, really nice place. Lots of space, dirt cheap, nice people. So that was a good experience. Still not sure how I feel about the camping lark, but maybe it'll grow on me. So we're now heading down back to the coast path, where we will rejoin it on our way to Combe Martin. Come on then, silly dog. So this must be all their apple orchards. Oh nice. It was really delicious cider too. Really nice. I'd have bought a bottle, but the bag's heavy enough as it is. Could have done, I suppose. Gumbo wasn't so sure about the tent at first, but she seemed to settle down in the end. She looks raring to go. So what you're looking at in that photograph is Lee Abbey, which is a Christian retreat of some kind, like outdoor retreat, and it's quite a spectacular place with the Valley of the Rocks behind it in that photograph. There's also quite a charming toll booth just outside the road that runs through the estate, where it's kind of like an optional £2 to pass. Very Christian. Quaint. What do you think, Gumbo? It's a nice idea. The dogs have to pay. So, having passed by the delightful Woody Bay, we didn't go down to Woody Bay. We thought it's more of a singular adventure really. I think there's enough up and down in one day without going all the way down there. But it's a very beautiful bay. It's like something out of Agatha Christie. Very unspoilt. And we're now heading down to HEDDON'S Mouth, the notorious HEDDON'S Mouth, previous scene of the so-called Walk of Death. Now let's hope it doesn't live up to its nickname today. I was a lot younger when I climbed it last time. I didn't have a pack on my back, but I did have two small children. I'm not sure whether one of them was on my back at one point. Anyway, if they can do it, we can do it. We'll see you down the bottom. Cooling. On the other side. Come on. Coast path. 2 Martin, near 8 miles. Well, we made it up the valley, up HEDDON'S, well it's HEDDON'S Mouth, but the side of HEDDON'S Mouth. I think my children, when they did this one, my daughter must have been only 6. My son was probably around 10. They did really, really well. I mean, Eleanor especially. I remember we kept talking about Monty Python sketches all the way up to keep us going. It is tough, even now, having climbed a lot more significant hills than this since then. But it is tough. They did really, really well. Anyway, That's not exactly the reason it's called the Walk of Death. It's called the Walk of Death because up here, when we reach the end of the headland, it literally turns into a backs to the wall, Lord of the Rings style path. You can't take the little ones that way, said Boromir. Bad accent. Danger, cliff edge, says the sign. My son claimed to be suffering from vertigo, and it was a real struggle to the top for him, bless him. And I remember he just got to the top and just sat down against this gate, was utterly shattered. But I think that was the end of his vertigo. From that point forward, he never mentioned it again, and since has climbed, very big fells with me. Cross Fell, a number of the fells in the Lake District, and lots of coast path. So there you go. Face your fears, and you will conquer them. Not as bad as I remember it, truth be told, although this bit looks a bit dodgy. I think we'll better put the camera away in a minute. Sorry for the radio silence. That was a tough stretch, a tough walk, all the way from HEDDON'S up through Trentis, around Trentis Shoe, I think it's called, and Holdstone Hill, I think, and then now down the valley and then up to Great Hangman, which is the highest point on the coast path which we're on now. That was a really tough stretch, and not a single bench, so National Trust, can we have more benches please? We're British. Now getting the bus back from Combe to where we parked at Countisbury Hill. My left foot was giving me too much grief to carry on, plus I've done that stretch to Ilfracombe before anyway, so we are heading back. I've come to the conclusion that long distance hiking with a backpack is very difficult, and that maybe one 20-mile walk without a backpack is better than two 10-mile walks with a backpack. When I say backpack, I mean like, proper backpack with a tent, etc. in it. So that is probably what I'm going to be doing from now, more of, I think. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this film and enjoy this bus ride back.
alright? It's not giving me any trouble. I don't know why she's gone back there.